and welcome back. It is me, Gigi, and this is Gigi Loves. If you are new to the channel, I would like to say welcome. I am so happy to have you here. And if you are returning, I would like to say welcome back. I'm so glad to see you again. You look so good today. So I did take a little bit of a break, you'll probably see, from my last video and this video, and that is because I was really overwhelmed between work, home, and just maintaining a life, you know, as an adult, as we have to do once you reach that ripe age of 18. And well, for some people have your own responsibilities to take care of. Yeah, things got a little hectic there. I got very overwhelmed just trying to balance everything, and I stopped prioritizing my own happiness. And that is what today's video will be about. Finding your happiness, maintaining that, and making sure that you yourself is taken care of, that you don't lose yourself amongst all of life's troubles, work, school, whatever else you may be going through, social life, home life. I'm a person who I can say once upon a time, maybe about 2 years ago, I was severely depressed. Leaving the house for the bare minimum, which is working, barely wanting to see family, friends, like really having to force myself to get out there. And now I feel like I've kind of hit my stride with maintaining this level of happiness and making sure that I get taken care of however I need. So the first thing, I'll start off with where I used to be. Like I said, leaving the house for the bare minimum. I was kind of working jobs that paid the bills, but it maybe gave me a minimal amount of fulfillment. But in the end, at the end of the day, I just, you know, didn't want to I would wake up and be like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to go to work. Can't really stand this. Like, all I want to do is stay in bed and sleep all day. Not even like I had other things I wanted to do. Like sometimes, yeah, I'll be like, I gotta go to work. I really wish I could go thrift shopping today, or I really wish I could go sit with my mom, or I really wish I could just go sit out at a restaurant, have some me time, relax. That's different than what I was at before, where I really was just upset that I had to leave my bed, that I had to be a human. You know, I have to get up, I have to shower, I have to put clothes on, I have to leave the house. It's crazy. And I just had jobs that I didn't really like. I've had, honestly, the jobs I've had have been kind of all over the place. Other than the last few years, I've kind of hit my stride of knowing that I like helping people directly. Previously, I was doing childcare, working in daycares with toddlers and infants, which I absolutely did love, but anybody that works in childcare will tell you you're getting paid nothing. If you think teachers get paid nothing, childcare, like, you're lucky if you're getting paid the minimum wage, honestly. And especially because I like working for private companies. I feel like you get a little bit more attentiveness when it comes to your needs. Whereas when you're working for a corporation, you're just a number on paper. The moment that you ask for a little bit of leeway or help, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you're out the door, because we have 10,000 other people that signed up for the same job because we're a corporation. We churn them out like it's a factory. So yeah, I did work for smaller private daycares, and that meant I was taking a bit of a pay cut, which at first I was okay with, because prior to that I was working in auto insurance, which I absolutely hated. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I mean, it might be for you. I was working in claims, so that was like, you get in a car accident, I'm the person you call, and obviously you're not gonna be happy when you're calling me, which is understandable. But you know, it got to a point where like people would tell you to kind of, you know, hit the reset button on yourself because they got in a car accident and they didn't have the right coverage, and I would have to tell them, hey, sorry, you didn't have what you needed, or your car flooded and you didn't have comprehensive. I'm sorry, we can't help you. But we explained that to you once upon a time, and you just wanted the lowest possible premium every month, and now you get to tell me how I'm a terrible person, or I should be ashamed to live with myself, and all those wonderful things I got to hear 7 days a week. Yeah, it was a job. Only good thing on it, honestly, was the pay. And at the time, COVID was in full swing, so I got to work from home. And as you know in my other video, that contributed to my weight gain, because I didn't have to leave the house. It was me, DoorDash, and my computer, and that just was not a recipe for success, at least not for me. It might be for someone, but like I said, not for me. After that, I went into childcare because I did, when I was younger, volunteer at a summer camp where I worked with younger kids, and I really enjoy working with younger kids. They're crazy. It's just it's an interesting line of work. But when you're working at a job where there's, you know, high turnover rate, so you're understaffed, and that means you can't have the time off that you're supposed to have. Instead of working 4 days a week like you were promised, you're working 5 days a week, and basically from open to close, it gets to you. And then you're doing that for the bare minimum pay. You're stretching yourself really thin. That was just a line of work that I loved it, but mentally and financially, it's just really not sustainable. Only person who's really making out good on that is the owner of the company. Everybody else, you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck, if that, and you're making a lot of sacrifices for yourself, as in not having social life, because the hours you work are kind of extensive, and then financially you can't afford to do. I remember telling my boss, I can't afford to do anything. I can't afford to go out with my friends on the weekends. I can't afford to go out to dinner. It wasn't something that I could put up with long term. So after I ended up leaving childcare, I got into my current line of work, which I absolutely love. I love this, and this is work I always said I would never do. I could tell right away as soon as I started it. I was like, oh, I'm in trouble, because I love this job. I love meeting new clients. Seniors, they have so much knowledge. It's not even like the knowledge you think you'll get. It's just little things. Like, they're the ones that told me a high paying job is great, but like, it needs to be a balance of, yeah, I'm making the money I need, and do I get to live my life? Because they said by the time I thought I was gonna retire and, you know, travel the world, I was decrepit. My body was torn up. I can't climb stairs, stuff like that. Or they'll tell me, yeah, if you have, like, if your knees are iffy now, exercise, get that going right now, because in a minute it's you can't lift your foot to put a sock on, and then you're gonna be like, damn, I should have worked on that. So yeah, no, I love my clients. I found my line of work, and all of this is to say, find work that will work for you. Not everybody is going to want a super high paying job. Some people want a job that is just going to get them, keep them afloat, honestly. I know people who live kind of nomadically. They have an apartment that's the bare minimum. They have a car that gets them wherever they want to go. And then the rest of their money, they kind of pocket it and they use that to travel the world. That's all they want to do, is travel the world. They have no intentions of starting a family or setting up big roots or having a 5-bedroom house in the city. They don't care for that stuff. So what they do is get a job that pays for what they need so they can survive as a human. And then the rest, it covers whatever else they want, the kind of lifestyle that they want. And I guess that'll kind of go into my second point. What is for you or what is for someone else, they're not gonna match up. That goes on different levels. You don't have to want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a high-paid entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Like, you go and pop the balloon and you'll see every other person is an entrepreneur with 10 LLCs. Like, everybody has a business. It's not for everyone. Like, you don't have to want that. And that's okay, that's fine. Find what works for you. And then once you do find what works for you, you'll love going to work. You'll be happy to pick up those extra shifts. Like, you won't care about, I have to go to bed early because I have to get up early in the morning. Because you'll be like, oh, I can't wait to do this tomorrow. I have this going on tomorrow at work and I can't wait to get into that. Or I get to see this person tomorrow. I can't wait to see that person tomorrow. Find something that works for you. Find something that gives you the availability you want. If you're okay with working 10, 12-hour days, do that. But don't get into a job that you're gonna be doing that and you're coming home and you're crying because you're just worn down, you're torn apart. And if you have to speak up at your job and say, hey, I'm kind of overworked, do that. You might lose your job. I won't lie, you might lose your job. For some jobs, yeah, you might lose it. But you have to be okay. You have to worry about yourself, because what's the point of working hard for money and then honestly you're so depressed that you don't even want to go out and spend it. Like, you have no more passion to go out and buy Lego sets because you used to love putting together Lego sets. You don't care about that anymore. You don't have the passion to go out and hang out with your friends because all you want to do is sleep in every hour that every free time that you have. You just want to spend it in bed. There's no purpose in that. I've had some experiences where I've had friends compare where I've been, like I've had a high paying job where I was making more than I ever made in my life, but I was miserable. I also have had very low paying jobs where I was happy to go to work and I thought it was fun. And then now I'm in the middle. Honestly, I just got promoted. That's awesome. And that's what I really think I got promoted. And my boss said is because I could tell you love your job. The clients love you. You show up when we need you to. And I'm like, yeah, I show up. And I don't think she understands. I tell her I show up because I love this job. Every time I'm sitting at home and I get a text that says, hey, would you mind coming in an hour early tomorrow? Or sometimes I'll have a day off and they'll be like, please, 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 we have an emergency. Like, how fast can you get to the Smith house? And I'm like, I'll open the maps and be like, yeah, 15 minutes, I'll be there. And they're like, oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I don't care. I love the Smiths. Like, B is extra money in my pocket. C, it doesn't stress me out. Like, this is a job I can go to and I'm not gonna feel any different at the end of my shift I do at the beginning. I might even feel better. Some days I'll have a really, really bad day the night before, or like on something in my life, not even work related. Or I'll just be down on something and then I go to work and then I'm laughing by the end of my shift because my clients are crazy. They're crazy and I love them. Definitely know what's for you. What's for you is not gonna work for everyone. Your expectations, you don't have to be married by 25. You don't have to have a 6-figure job by the time you're 30. You don't have to have all of that. You don't have to have a brand new car. If you don't want a brand new car, it doesn't. My car, I do have a newer car. I recently got a new car in March. And that's only because my previous car was falling apart. And I told my dad, I would have driven that car until the wheels fell off. I would have driven that car until it rolled down the street and people were like, whoa, look, she got that antique, that vintage 2013. Like, come on. I did not care. I don't care about, I mean, what does it matter? Unless you're a car person, then it might matter to you. That's gonna be for you. A lot of people buy things and do things because social media influences them, people around them influence them, and you can't let people do that. Like I said, I had the friend that was comparing where I was. You used to make now you make That's crazy. I could never. That's for you. That's for you. You care about the dollar signs, about how much you get. I care about having the time to do this. Right now, it is like 1 o'clock on a Sunday. I went to work early this morning. I went to see my mom because it's currently Mother's Day. I went and hung out with her for a little bit. And then I came home and now I'm probably just gonna like finish this video. I'm going to edit. And then I'm gonna straighten up. I'm gonna turn on some music and dance in my underwear. That's what I wanna do on my Sunday, and I can do that. Tomorrow, I have a 3-4 hour slot of time where I'll be at work, and then the rest of that time, I'm gonna be home. I think I might go grocery shopping because I have to get some groceries, but I have the option to do that. This past week, I just needed some time off from work. I took that time off because it's a job. This is a job where I'm able to do that. And I found a job where I'm able to do that. My previous jobs, I would have to put in 90 days notice to get the time off because the job was that short staffed. And I was getting paid the bare minimum. So it's even like, can I afford to take the time off? This job, because I worked so well, they're giving me paid vacation. They gave me a paid vacation for that time that I took off for last week. I had a whole bunch that I needed to deal with. I needed some time to myself, and they said, we don't want to lose you. We're gonna be able to do this for you. So they're gonna give me a paid vacation for that time off, and then they still promoted me. I told them I was gonna take a week off of work, and then they were like, yeah, okay. And also, by the way, we're gonna give you this promotion that we've been looking at you for because we just love having you at the company. I would not be able to get that if I was at a business where there's 10,000 employees because I'm one of 10,000, or because they don't really care that you took that week off. Okay, we're just not gonna pay you. Good luck making up that money when you get back. I'm honestly, I sometimes I'm amazed at what I did. I keep saying I manifested this, but I did. I told myself, I want a job that's gonna work for me. I am a person that needs flexibility with time off. I get overwhelmed kind of easily, or even not easily, but once I start getting overwhelmed, it's like the world is ending. There is no, oh, I'm a little stressed. It's like, what is going on? But I know myself. So yeah, that's absolutely what I did. I told my boss, you know, I had a loss in the family, and I was like, I'm kind of overwhelmed with this. And when she asked for my availability the next week, I said, I'm not available. This is like on a Thursday. I told her from This Saturday until the next Saturday, no availability, and that's fine. But I found a job that allows me to do that. I have an apartment that is filled with things that makes me happy. Most people, they would probably think my apartment's kind of childish. Like, I have a whole bunch of like pig decorations. As I said before, I love pigs. I have a lot of pig decor in here and cows, but it's stuff that makes me happy. So if you want that monochrome, pristine, modern look, I don't like that. Everything in my apartment, I decided that when I moved out on my own, everything in here has to make me smile, because there's so much misery in the world. I don't know, I just wanted it to brighten up my life. Every time I go get a cup of coffee and I have to pick out one of my stupid mugs, like they're dumb. I have a cactus mug, I have like, they're dumb, but they're cute, they're mine. And yeah, that's little things. Fashion, what you wear, reflect what you like. Some people might look at something you're wearing and be like, that's ugly, that's dumb. How do you feel? Does it make you happy? That's kind of all that matters. And then from there, the more you put into yourself of like, what do I want? Where should I be? Where should I be? Where do I want to be? Not even where I should be. Where do I want to be? I ended a relationship that was 4 years. That was 4 years. And I stuck in it for a long time because it was like I started dating really late. It's not even really late. I started dating really late compared to like my friends. So like my first actual relationship, I was 21. And then so from 21 to like 24, 25, I was in this relationship, and I kept sticking through it because it's like, I don't want to start over at this stage. I don't want to start over at this stage. I don't want to have to wait until I'm 30 to get married. Now, I don't care if I'm 35 and I get married. I want to be happy. I want a relationship that makes me happy, that I'm excited to hear from them every day, that we can joke a certain way. And I didn't have that in that relationship. And I kept convincing myself that I need to have this relationship that everybody else told me I need to have, that I need to stick through certain things that honestly I didn't realize I didn't need to stick through, that they were detrimental to me, that I was changing everything about myself, getting rid of my I love for fitness. I love fitness, and that was a relationship where that just was not something that was going to happen. I love to explore things. I love going out for a walk. What do you love? How can you incorporate it in your life? And what can you do to move towards finding that happiness of like every day, a little bit of, oh, that made me happy. That's gonna help you become your best self. Realize that sometimes, and it does suck, you have to let go of people. It's true. If it's a relationship that you're more unhappy than you are happy. If it's a relationship, and this isn't just romantic, even with friends, where they only reach out to you when they need something from you. Not even like, and I'm not talking, I need advice. They're only reaching out when you have something that you can give them as an act of service or money or a ride, or sometimes you have to ditch those relationships. And once upon a time, I would say I had like 20 friends. Now I might say I have 5 to 10. This goes friends, romantic partners, family even. You can't let life tell you what you have to stick out. If it's something that's making you more miserable, if it's something that they're taking more than, not even a give and take, but there has to be a balance in a relationship. You can't have someone that's just draining everything from you, and then you reach out because you're having a bad day and you can't even get a text back. And it sucks, but that is something where you have to stand up and say, I need myself to be happy. Especially if you're someone that's fighting depression. You get those thoughts in your head that tell you you're worthless or you're only worth this because of that. It's something that I think everybody needs to, at least once a year, look around you, look at your life, and then find those things that weigh you down. Here's what I've done. In the past, I'll say 2 years, because it has been a big change over the past 2 years. And this is things that they're little incremental changes. I ended the relationship. I ended a romantic relationship. Through doing that, I had time to focus on myself, get my health and fitness together. I got a different job, found a job that I loved. I got into my own apartment, and that was really quick. I saved up my money. I got my first apartment on my own. In that apartment, I filled it with things that make me happy. Even through this past 2 years, I was having this kind of identity crisis of like, there's certain ways I'm supposed to dress. There's certain ways I'm supposed to talk. I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. No, I'm not. I dress like me. Find what makes you happy. Dress yourself how you want to dress. I think I've made the decision this year. I don't think I want to straighten my hair much anymore. I'm kind of falling in love with my natural texture and learning to take care of my own hair. I never, and this is not a pick me thing. I've been told so many times, like, a lot of girls will say it's a pick me thing. I don't do weaves. I get braids once or twice a year, and it's usually because I'm going on vacation or something. But even my last vacation, I went natural, and I remember I had given myself a bob right before. I'm known to cut my hair on a whim. I was just bored and I gave myself a little bob. It wasn't real short, but it was definitely like a little touching off the shoulders. And then my friend was like, hey, well, why wouldn't you get your hair braided? You're about to go on vacation. And I'm like, I'm just gonna see how it goes. Like, it's my natural hair. If I can't learn how to deal with the hair coming out of my own head, I don't need to be putting stuff on top of it. I feel like that's how people, their 4 heads turn into 5 heads, turn into 6 heads, and then now your hairline starts back here. And now you have to wear a wig because you done pulled all your edges out. Boo, like, what are you doing? So no, if my hair is fine, I just learn how to style it, and then no, I'm absolutely comfortable with my hair. That vacation, I got so many compliments on my hair. Only people who did have an issue or like said something smart about it were other Black women, which I do have to do a video on. Like, I'm sorry, Black girls, y'all be hating on your own people. What's wrong with y'all? Like, they were the only ones that ever, like, I did get some Black girls. It was like older Black women who were like, oh, I love your hair, like, I love your curls. And it was just like the younger ones around my age that were just like, I don't know, acting funny, just saying, like, whisper, like, and at first I thought I was being paranoid because my sister said something about it, like, oh, they're like that. And I was like, no, I think you're just being paranoid, which I shouldn't do. That's like gaslighting, I think. But yeah, I was like, no, I think you're just being paranoid. And then no, the one day I caught her and she's like, what will possess her to wear her natural hair on a cruise? Like, you don't get your hair done? And I am so confident in myself that when they said that, I kind of laughed and looked and I was like, because I can. Because I can. And I looked hot. I looked gorgeous. Like, I have some pictures out here. I'm sure I looked gorgeous on the cruise. I looked so good every day when I would get dressed. It might be conceited, but I don't know. I've recently come into this line of just thinking I'm like so hot. But yeah, I kind of looked at myself every time I got dressed. It was like, I am the hottest thing on this ship. Like, I just looked good. I looked so good on that cruise. Every time I put on an outfit, all of my outfits, I'll show you the pictures. I'm gonna put pictures on here. I thrifted all of that. I love flexing a good thrift. I thrifted most of everything that I wore. Like, I look so hot. I look so good. And then I don't know, it just does something to me. I don't know. And so my hair, yeah, and I wore my natural hair that whole trip, and that was just one less thing to worry about. Oh, I can't get sand in my braids, or I don't know, the water waves. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a weave wearer, so I can't. I don't know. I know like salt water lifts like the. I don't know. Not I know. I've heard salt water lifts like the edges on your lace and like deteriorates the glue and like stuff like that. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. Like, this is your life. And that's even with my parents, with my mom. Like, she had certain standards for me, because let's be real, she done gave up on all of them. She done gave up on telling me what I can and can't wear. And I think part of it is I became really rebellious. So she said, like, if I was wearing a crop top that came to like, you know, just below my navel, why you gotta show your midriff? Okay, well the next one's gonna be here, and the next one's gonna be a sports bra. And so now she realized the more she said stuff that was when I was a bit more immature, when I was like 19 to like 21. Yeah, no, I kind of had to stop worrying about her, because even she would say, I wish I wore more crop tops or more tube tops when I was younger, when I had the body for it, because now I'm whatever age and I could never. So no, stop worrying about other people. Stop worrying about offending other people or making people think you're weird or getting side eyes. Okay, people are gonna look anyways, for real. So let me give you something to look at. I look gorgeous. You have that confidence in yourself, it makes you happier. There's so much you can do, so many little things you can do to make yourself happier. But I feel like I am rambling now. So we covered having a job that makes you happy, editing your relationships so that, you know, surround yourself with people who support you and love you and don't make you feel judged. Finding basically a lifestyle, a life goal that suits you. Just because you're 30 doesn't mean that you're behind, because you're not married, because you don't have a house, because that's not for you. That's not for you. That's not. If it's not something you want, it's not for you. You don't have to go to college because everybody said you had to go to college. You don't have to have a house because you're 30 and somebody says you have to have a house by the time you're 30. If that's not something you want, don't go for it. It's not for everyone. Don't let your parents live vicariously through you. I know that's easier said than done, but I mean, I kind of had to, sometimes I'll tell my parents, like, you're not even happy with your own life. So like, why would I allow you to dictate what's gonna make me happy in my life? Like, you're miserable. I'm not now. When I was living my life and he's gonna want this, she wants that, she wants that. Miserable. Could never be satisfied with myself. And now, I don't know, I guess my life has kind of improved so much over these past few years that I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do. Like this past week, I took that little break. I went and I just enjoyed my life for a little bit. I had a great time just resetting my mind, and I feel like I'm re-energized now. Heck yeah. Even little things like my cat. Do you know how many people told me never to get a cat? And cats are evil, cats are weird. Toots, are you evil? I see your ears. She's like, why are you asking me this dumb stuff? Of course I am, of course. That's why I bite your ankles. Don't let people dictate where you're supposed to go. Don't let people tell you how you're supposed to feel about where you are, about what you wear, about who you hang out with or who you love. Just do things for you. And I promise, when you start with the little things, they will add up, and then you'll find yourself in just a whole new world, and you'll be amazed about what you can do to improve your life. Like, I never ever thought I'd be where I am. I thought I was gonna stay in a relationship that I was settling in and convincing myself that I need to be okay with certain things, that I needed to dress a certain way to appease them, and I needed to give up my passions to make time for other people. Never again. No. If it doesn't make me happy, and if it's not something that's absolutely necessary, like paying taxes or something like that, no, I'm not doing it. I don't have to. I don't have to. You can't make me. All right. So that will be the end of the video. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining me here. Gigi loves finding things that she loves. Gigi loves putting herself first. And most of all, Gigi loves you. Bye, babes.